Kind of freezing,
Jamil.
guys. Hello.
I think I'm gonna go and mute my microphone then.
I will mute my microphone also, and it's Jamil going.
Okay, I think we're live, guys. Vitaly, are you going to do an intro or should I go ahead?
Jamil, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Vitaly. I am your host and your moderator and admin of the Facebook group of triple operators. From here on out, we'll be called BTOs because I think it's cute and easy. Thank you all so much for joining us. Very excited to have you all here. And from here on out, we will get into introductions, and then we have four BTOs on the call, each of which have implemented a marketing or growth strategy in the past and have some wonderful things to share about their experience, how they did it, and what were some of the results. Without further ado, we have Jamil, who's going to be chatting about WhatsApp and social media strategies. We have Toby, who's going to be talking about audience targeting. Tamara on working with OTAs. And then Jerome, we had another PTO, unfortunately couldn't make it today. I will be covering his portion. He wants to talk about some SEO hacks that I've actually done in the past, so I'll share some results from there. And then I will be talking as well about website conversion optimization. And then we'll have about 10 minutes for a final Q&A, so you'll be able to ask any questions. If you do have any questions, please post them in the live feed stream as a comment, and then you ask questions throughout the entire event here, and I will pass along the questions to each of our BTOs that are speaking. Without further ado, Jamil, take it away.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, Vitaly. Okay, guys, thank you for everybody who's joining in. My name is Jamil Abidin. I'm based in Dubai, UAE. I own Go Fishing Tours, Yachts, and Boat Rental. We are rated #1 on TripAdvisor for fishing in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and the Middle East. Today, I'll be discussing the importance of social media marketing and WhatsApp messaging for your business. So for me, I've been using these two tools and it has helped me. So maybe you will be able to get them more involved in your business if you're not using them already. And also it can help you. So for social media marketing, what we were focusing on was Facebook and Instagram. Now, not so much Facebook, a little bit less Instagram when we're talking about Dubai, when in terms of marketing. Facebook has gone a little bit slow. The trend right now is Instagram. So a lot of people are going on Instagram. A lot of businesses are going on Instagram, a lot more than, let's say, 5-10 years ago when Facebook was more hyped up over here. So a lot less users. So what we are using these two social media platforms to do is basically we want to follow the trend. We want the people that are following the trend to see you as well. So you get your message out there. So whether you have a lot of likes or followers, whether it's yes or no, you can try to promote your messages through there, even through a sponsored link. So if you put out a sponsored link, just make sure that when you're doing these sponsored links, you're choosing which region and which area. They're very specific, and you can get a little bit more specific. You're not targeting, if you're in Dubai, you're not targeting 100,000 people in India or in China, unless that's your target market and you want them to be your tourists over here, you could do that, okay? So it'll help your social media platforms also grow likes and followers. And this is pretty much the same concept to using flyers and promotional banners, but it's just digital, okay? So now I will move on to WhatsApp messaging, why it's important. Now, a lot of businesses, I mean, like we're doing this link sharing between the sites. I can see some of you guys that are on the link sharing things with my site do have a WhatsApp icon or contact us by WhatsApp at the end of your page. I usually put this right on the top of my page. I might not be taking all the calls, or we might miss some calls. So people can just drop a message there instead of, some people are lazy, they don't even want to send an email. So on my icon, if you click it, you will already have the text written there. You don't even have to type. It's already automated. It says, I'm interested in doing this. Can you give me more information? It's a click of a button. And for me, when I will reply back to you, I even have the template for that. So I copy paste my template, okay? And I will some of you guys might have it on your site. For me personally, I would prefer not to always put my rates online. It makes that little bit extra, it creates that little bit extra interaction with your inquiries, because they are interested, because we're listed highly on TripAdvisor and they want to know more, but they don't. So they approach me and I make that connection. Once I make that connection, I can talk to them. I can chat with them, and if they need more help, we can go further from there as well. So that's the importance of that, and what we can use it as a tool for in future as well. If you think it might not work now, let's say you have a list of a few hundred current clients, regulars, or anything like that, and you would like to send them an offer. You would like to do promotions. You launch something and you want them to know about it, but they have no clue that you did it. So you could use your Instagram. Now, there are a few important things that you have to understand about, I'm sorry, not Instagram, WhatsApp. So there are a few important things that you have to understand and follow to make sure it's not messy, okay? Now, first of all, this tool is great for database building, okay? And it's also very good if you're off season. So you're off season, you're gonna push it. Offers going on this, offers going, special prices, a flash sale for a week. You could do all of this stuff. You can reach people. So it's a very easy means of communication. But the most important thing, you have to make it short, okay? You have to make sure it's professional, okay? And it's informative at the same time, all right? You don't wanna, let's put it in a very easy term, don't blow up their phones with your messages. Nobody wants to see that. So what you wanna do is pretty much send all the information you want. Any company that I deal with, even in other businesses, if I ask for some information or some photos, I don't want to see 30, 40, 50 pictures coming on my WhatsApp. It's annoying. So you make your own template for your business the right way. And I'm sure people can see, okay, this guy's professional. He knows what he's talking about and he's ready. They feel confident that you're confident, and it's a good way to build that pipeline. So he might not be interested right now, but in future, you've got him on the list. Make sure when you do send messages out to people, do not do it as a group messaging. Group messaging is terrible because you've got 300-400 people there in group messaging on WhatsApp, and they can reply. That's the first thing. I see myself being put in a group, I leave, I block, I delete, I don't go back. But if it's broadcasted, it's very direct and very personal. And once you do that, they can reply back to you without disturbing everyone else in a group, if they did it in a group. So that's my 2 cents on this. I hope it helps people. And if you guys need more help with it and more information with it, about it, feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll see what I can do to help you guys out. All right. God bless.
Thank you so much, Jamil. I have a couple of questions. I'm curious because WhatsApp for international travelers has been very powerful for us. And I'm curious, in your experience, is there a way to automate any of the WhatsApp communication? Is there a way to streamline or like for instance, I think WhatsApp has like a business like a WhatsApp business sub product. I'm kind of curious if you've had any experience working with that and how you manage such a large WhatsApp communication strategy.
Okay. No, I don't automate the stuff. I see a lot of sites where it goes into chat and some people use bots. I believe, yes, it will take me a little bit more time of my time if I spend it on writing and replying to everybody that's messaging me. True, but it's more personal, and that's my business is more personal for me. So if you're on a large scale, you might actually need like 1 or 2 or 5 people actually focusing on this, because it's more personal when you're dealing with another person, and they can help you, and if they feel comfortable with you, like I said, they'll be able to do that more. But using templates on your phone itself will actually give you less time spending on typing and all of this stuff. An inquiry will come in. I will take about 3 seconds to copy, paste, and send a template. And that's 3 seconds. It's not really doing anything for me. I can get a lot of inquiries in one day and send them all out. They're not going to come back to me usually directly, because there is information in that interactive PDF that I'm going to be sending out. There's a lot of information there. So once they go through it, and even if they do have a lot of questions, which some people do, some people don't, some people are straightforward, even if they do have a lot of questions, I can also forward a link to my most frequently asked questions with top 10. And they usually will be there. For each business, there's the top 10 questions that you're going to get. And you might think as a business, oh, this is a very silly question. Why are they asking me this? And I'm repeating myself 1,000 times. Yeah, you can just send them the link. They'll read it. And that's very easy, and it can be customized. Plus, when they're hitting that link, you're also getting more hits on your own website.
I have a question also. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. How do you get your prospect list? How do you obtain the prospect list for the WhatsApp marketing?
Well, once you put up website on the top of your website, okay, you put a WhatsApp icon, and people will start to send inquiries, because
they will send inquiries. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once they start sending these inquiries, save these numbers. Okay, they might not be useful to you now, but they might be in the future. Maybe save them in a different way. Don't save them by their own name. Put them for sailing, for yachting at the end of their name. Make this list. Once you make this list, you move them across to a broadcast list. So when I want to send this information, maybe they're not interested in my broadcast list, and I tell them, guys, by the way, this is the broadcast list. If you're not interested, you're more than welcome to leave this list or block it. And I, will not get any more messages from me. I'm not trying to spam anybody. That's I keep the list not too big. Keep it to more people that are interested in the business and future prospects and potential clients.
I also totally agree with you when you said that you don't put the prices on your website or on any of your social media, because getting the contact with the customer, half the battle is won. Then you have a chance to talk to them. The chance to get the order is much bigger, much greater. So it's a good idea. I like that.
I started my website. Sorry.
Most of my competition, they have the prices out, and I don't. And that's for that reason, because once you have the touch with the customer, you can talk to them, and there's a totally different contact to talk to people, and it's the chances to get that order, to get that customer increases greatly by that.
I completely agree with you there. I tested.
I have a question for you. You're a social media guy. One question I have is: do you know of anybody marketing through LinkedIn?
LinkedIn over here, not heavily, because it's through LinkedIn. You can post, you can put stuff about the companies. It's more about the company itself. But I haven't really focused. I have a lot of clients because I have a marketing company as well. So I have a lot of clients when they have LinkedIn profiles, they want to push it there. They'll put some
Right.
photos and add some stuff there, which is good for the
Yeah.
image of the company.
Right.
A lot more job inquiries than actual sales.
Yeah, of course it is. Yes, yes. I have a recruiting company, I know, because I'm using it a lot as a tool in my recruiting. But I always had the thought to be able to market my company over here through LinkedIn, but I never really find a way how to do it. But it's interesting.
They are pushing some things for marketing for
Yeah,
LinkedIn as well.
yeah,
I read
yeah.
about it.
Right. Also, another question I have for you. When you say social media marketing, you can do area and you can do amount of people, you can do this and that, but can you also be very specific and say people that belongs to groups that has to do with fishing or people
Yes,
that
of
has to
course.
do with dating? You can, right? So you can
Yes,
reach
of
them that way
course you
also.
can. By their interests. You look at them by
Yes,
their interests.
exactly,
So
exactly,
if they're not interested in your stuff, you don't want to market to them.
exactly.
But that's mainly the point.
Mm. Yeah,
You will have these followers on your Instagram or on your Facebook and stuff, and they will see the kinds of stuff that they're interested in. You want these people on your sites. You don't want anyone else that's not interested in it at all.
no, no. No,
Thank
good.
you. Well, that was a great share. I think we're going to turn it over now to Toby. Go ahead.
Okay,
Awesome.
1 second. Okay, guys. My name is actually Torbjörn. I'm a Swedish guy, but everybody calls me Toby. It's a lot easier to say, believe me. I'm Swedish, and I've been working out of Greece now for about 6 years. I'm going into my 7th season, doing what I'm doing over here that I'm going to explain a little bit about. I have a background that's very diverse, but mostly in leading positions. I've been CEOs and managing director in many different countries around the world. You're talking about the USA, the UK, and even in the UAE, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, to be honest with you. And my operation over here is a very small operation. I typically turn between 150 and 200 K euros annually with the 2 boats that I have. Up till last year, I only had 1 boat, a monohull. Last year, I went to the Caribbean, near you, Tamara. I went to Guadeloupe and I bought a catamaran and sailed it across and came back to Syros. So this year, I also going to do business with this catamaran. I take customers that are interested in not only in sailing itself or to see Greece. I try to find some customers that are interested in doing different activities. And that's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today. I think instead of marketing yourself to the masses, to the general population, it's shooting with a shotgun. Why not shoot with a bullet and hit the target group that you want right away? So what I do, I put together packages for people that is, for example, divers. I'm a diving instructor, by the way, but that is not a necessity to be an instructor because it's enough to take them to the diving spot with my boat. But I'm also an instructor in kite surfing, and I'm a hiking guide. So my typical activities that I do is also yoga cruises. I do the new one for this year is photography, underwater photography, and some other things, which is maybe not so interesting. But I firmly believe that marketing to the specific groups, you reach the group and can reach the group that you that is your target that are interested in, for example, diving. You can easily reach them by different forums, Facebook groups, clubs, associations, and so on. And you sell your product there. Instead of going out to the masses and to the general population, you can surgically just reach that target group. And I think to most of you guys, businesses, it's applicable. No matter what you do, this is applicable, I think. If it's a fishing trips, it might be a fishing trip for a specific fish. For example, for you, Jimmy. I know that there's people going to Sierra Leone to find this. I can't remember the name of the fish, but there's a special fish that people go there to fish for. Or maybe in Dubai, you're looking for the barracudas. I don't know. I've seen a lot of barracudas there. Good thing about this is also I managed to extend my season, because some of those groups that I'm aiming my marketing to is not bound for the high season only. For example, hiking in Greece is actually better in the fall or in the winter. So I actually have bookings after the season. So if you find some activities that's fitting for winter time as well, so you can extend your season. That's basically what I wanted to say. That's a little way I managed to double my customer base that way. A typical season in Greece is between 12 and 15 weeks. I'm doing now about 22 weeks. I was up for 22 weeks this season. BC, you know what I mean by BC? Before Corona. A lot happened since in the last month. I had some cancellations, unfortunately, but I managed to keep about half of my customer base by keeping in touch with them. I've been very good in calling my customers, talking to them, and telling them to hold on, let's see what's happening. And I'm actually not giving any refunds. I'm giving vouchers for the people that doesn't want to go this year. They're welcome back next year. I'm not keeping their deposit. That's how I work. All right, that was all I had.
Yeah, I have a question about the vouchers. Like, I too had a lot of cancellations and I had to make a choice. Like, do I give a refund? Do I give vouchers? And I took a brief look at what the airlines did, and they gave vouchers. And then I took a look at the comment section, and it exploded. People did not like that. People want their money back. People don't want their money stuck with the airline. And that we also had a lot of cruise ship people coming, and they probably won't be coming anytime soon. So I decided to do the refunds, but it's been a hard choice. Yeah.
It is a hard choice. I had some comments from especially from one customer. And I say it's a force majeure. You know, who can predict this coronavirus thing? It affects everybody economically. And I was very quick in changing the policy on my homepage, my cancellation policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would like to add to the vouchers that you were talking about, Toby. That was a lot of good information there, by the way. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So with the vouchers, yeah, we are also doing vouchers, and our cancellations, we didn't do any refunds as well. So basically, I agree with you, talking to all of the people and making sure that they are informed way before. As soon as you get the information is really, really important. It really shows that you're passionate about what you do and you care about your customers. So
call them before they call you.
Exactly. So it really shows that you care, and this way they will appreciate you, and they will, you know, they also understand that when things like this happen, and if everyone is getting refunded, it can destroy businesses. So they know that, okay, if I do that, I can possibly, you know, destroy him and a whole bunch of other people doing that as well. So if you are very personal with all of your clients and you do talk to them, that's why the interaction, I told you, it's really important, even through WhatsApp and everything. People can read you smiling. They can hear you smiling without even looking at your face, you know? So it's really important for them to feel that. Once they do, they're comfortable. People are flexible with kinds of things that are happening now. It's completely unprecedented. I can never see myself at home this time of year. I'm never home. I'm 80% on the water this time of year.
Yeah,
so
I feel the same.
Great idea.
Yeah. Toby, I have a quick question regarding the audience. How do you determine what's the best target market to go after, or how do you pick which audience to target?
I think it's very local, and I think it's very different from place to place. But of course, Greece is a mecca for kite surfers. For example, I think also Tenerife is, and Dubai. Dubai, you don't have so much wind, but you
Yeah,
have a lot of kite
we have
surfers.
a lot of kite surfers.
Yes, and also diving is magic in Greece. There's no fish here, but there's some very nice wrecks and caves and so on. The Mediterranean, unfortunately, is totally fished out. But there's many other things you can do, and the visibility in Greece is just, unbelievable. There's nothing like it anywhere. So you have to look at your local where you are located and figure out what is the up things to do here. And you find there's always people that's interested in something. There's always big groups, even Flat Earth Society, if interested, there's, I don't know, 100,000 members believing that the Earth is flat. You can market yourself straight to them if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
But I have a very good friend from Turkey, actually. He's a photographer, underwater photographer, a very well-known one. And he actually came up with the idea of doing some charters with underwater photography. So he's with me on those trips and giving instructions. And that has been very successful, actually.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
One of the things we were thinking about was targeting to a particular, like setting up trips that are targeted towards specific groups around, like, for instance, like families only or adults only, or like a booze cruise, it's only for adults, or having something that's like, and just cutting down and actually creating a tour specifically for one of those audiences. What's your opinion of doing something like that?
I see some people down here being successful with that. For example, there is one company here that takes targets gay people. They do gay cruises.
Yeah.
And they've been very successful. That's also a category that has a lot of money usually. They have no kids, they have this and that, and they have money to spend. And a friend of mine I was discussing with the other day, he was thinking about starting up swinging cruises for swingers.
That's fun.
Yeah, why not?
Why though?
Oh gosh.
Why not? There's always a market. It's just a matter of finding it. And once you find that market, it's easy to market yourself towards it, I think, rather than going out to the general public.
Public,
Sure.
yeah. Because then you're not competing in a huge ocean, right?
Exactly.
You're competing in your own category.
Greece has over 3,000 guys like me.
Yeah.
And basically, they offer nothing. They offer to take you to the beautiful islands and beautiful villages, but except for that, and people want to do activities. It's increasing, I think.
Yeah.
Just kicking back and sailing is not a thing for many people anymore.
Right.
Or laying in a lounge chair on the beach. They want to do things and activate themselves. Maybe learn something new, or doing their sports. Whatever they're doing. So yeah, I think it's the future. I do.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Toby. That was very useful. Tamara, let's talk about OTAs.
So hi guys, I'm Tamara. I'm 27 years old. I think I'm the youngest in this group. I'm also the only woman, so yay, go for that.
Yay.
I'm Dutch. I live currently in Curacao. I've been here for almost 4 years, and I was basically raised on board of a ship. So yeah, sailing is in my blood. It's kind of hard to leave that too. I quickly found out when I had a job on shore, I really did not like that anymore, like not at all. What I'm going to be talking to you about is how to use resellers, and specifically online resellers. When we started our business, we had, so we took it over. We had one TripAdvisor page, which had a lot of good reviews, but that was about it. We didn't have online bookings. We didn't have any other resellers for us online. So I had to find out about that from scratch. And I'm going to be talking to you today about Get Your Guide, Get My Boat, and TripAdvisor. For us, Get Your Guide is working okay. I'm saying okay because you need to upload your tours on their site, and then you need to update your agenda on their website too. And that for me has been a little bit of an issue because I have my own agenda and I need to also do theirs. So that for me, I had some overbookings. It didn't really work that well so far. We get mostly European clients from there. I'm going to say Germany and the Netherlands. And then of course you need to allow for their commission. So they will need usually at least 20%, and it may seem like a lot, but it also makes you think really good about your sell rate. You need to have your sell rate to allow for that commission. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible for you to even put yourself out there on their website. Get My Boat is the next one. For us, Get My Boat has been good for attracting groups, private charters, families, mostly cruise ship people. And like the others have said, you need to target your audience on that too. So those descriptions on the website would have, for example, cruise highlight, shore excursion. So specifically, cruise ship visitors will need to be will be attracted to that. We have mostly USA customers from there. I'd say about 95%. And then of course you need to start looking when you want to put yourself on the reseller websites. How are you going to get paid? That's always the thing we always wonder about. For the islands, it was hard to get PayPal. We don't have that here. So for us, it's wire transfer so far. There are some bank charges, of course, involved with that. So whatever you decide to do, just really look at the costs involved that will be there to get your money to your account. But obviously, the biggest travel agency for us to sell our tours, to bring reviews, will be TripAdvisor. And Viator is their selling part of the company. The TripAdvisor is more the place where you look us up, you find reviews, and then on Viator you book. Our booking system is Bokun, and it's linked to Viator. So the agendas are the same. I don't have to worry about overbookings. And it's just one agenda, and it works really well. You can link a TripAdvisor reviews to your website. I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with it, but maybe you haven't found the time yet to put your company on there. It's a really great tool. I like it that you can also make review links in TripAdvisor. You can send them on WhatsApp. You can send them via email. TripAdvisor is the word, the company that you will need for getting yourself out there. I would like, if you're having any trouble with writing about your company, writing a tour description, if you just don't know what to put out there, you can always ask me. I love boating. So anything is related to boating, I would love to write about that. I can help you with that. I'm not a professional writer, but I can, for sure, help you a little bit with that. And then, I've been thinking a lot about what I saw in the forum about online bookings versus just cash payments or people that just walk up to the boat. For me, online bookings with payment upfront are crucial. I cannot have people not show up and not pay because we have two very small boats. We do rib boats, so we do basically high-speed adventures with 10 people for one boat, 8 people for the other boat. We've had quite a few people cancel that just didn't show up. That made me to maybe realize I really need to have online bookings and payment upfront. So we have the online booking through Bokun. If people want to send a message via WhatsApp, I do have that, but I will send them to the website to book. And then we also have a few local resellers. So they would put us on the website, for example, CuraçaoActivities.com or CuraçaoAdventures.com. Of course, they also get a commission. It all depends on what you want to work with. Some people get the whole amount from the client and pay you at the end of the month. Some people only charge commission and they pay the rest at the boat. It's all about what you really what you want and what works for you. So I think that should be about it.
Thank you so much, Tamara. And I think a couple of little golden nuggets too, because I experimented with this quite a bit. So Bokun got purchased by TripAdvisor, I think about a year or two ago, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so when they started integrating the two systems, they offered free sponsored listings to anyone that's using Booking on TripAdvisor. So we actually switched because of that reason, because I realized that like for our market in Tenerife, we had something like, I don't know, there's probably like 200 or 300 different boat trips that you can get from like in like one area, right? And so I said, well, there's no way that I need to gain some kind of competitive advantage. And we run one sailing boat that's 10 passengers max per trip. And I said, there's no way I can compete with some of these catamarans that are taking 70, 80 people out at a time. And they
Right.
have
Yeah.
so many reviews because they just have the sheer volume that we
Yeah.
can't compete with. And so I said, well, I need some competitive advantage. And so we actually switched from Resdy to Bokun. And then if you have, you have to add your products to TripAdvisor. And then once your products are on TripAdvisor and you have like a minimal amount of reviews, like 5 or 6 good reviews, you qualify for this free sponsored listing program. And as soon as we became sponsored listings, our bookings went from like, I don't know, 1 or 2 of them a week to like 1 or 2 of them a day. And that was huge. I was like, holy crap, this is a great source of new income for us, because honestly, we have an immense network of, we have like 100 partners locally in Tenerife that are reselling our service. But sometimes these guys take 50, 60% of our gross price, like crazy percentages. And so anything that I could do to reduce or, you know, in this case, increase my net price per ticket was good. And TripAdvisor was still cheaper than running all those other external sources. There's also another hack that if you add a special promo offer for your products in TripAdvisor, they'll also show up before everything else. So you just get to end up getting a lot more visibility and a lot more bookings that way.
Yeah. So what our question is then, if you the resellers you mentioned that take 50 to 60%, do you still think that would be a good position for you? Because to me that sounds like I don't even want to work with a situation like that.
Yeah, so unfortunately that's the way that, so our island is very like last century. I don't know. It's very like,
well, it's similar here though.
Everyone's like technology averse, and so the primary booking mechanism or distribution source for these tours, I mean every tour, not just boat trips, but like every tour excursion you can do on the island, is primarily run through these like small independent shops that are like all over the place. I mean, there's hundreds of them. And they're all densely packed, and they're all on the streets, like trying to sell you like hard sell. And so only over the last 2 years, like we've only been in operation for 2 years, only in those last 2 years has the people kind of been realizing, they're like, oh, it's strange, people are booking online a lot more. Like I go up to these little shops and I'm like, so how's business this year? And he was like, oh man, it was so much better last year, you know? And I'm like, well, why is that? He's like, well, because people just say that they already booked online. And I'm like, well, obviously this is kind of where the things are going. And so we kind of wanted to prepare ourselves for that. And the fastest way for us to get up and running was through these local providers. But we've slowly, you know, I'm again, only 2 years, we've kind of been like transitioning. So like our first year was like 90% were these like crazy expensive booking agencies all over the place. And now we're about 35% direct bookings. Well, before BC, right? Before Corona, we were at 35% direct bookings, and then probably about 15% were coming from OTAs. So our mix like significantly improved, our net operating margins significantly improved. So like all these things improved, but we wanted to capture as large of a market as possible as soon as possible, which is why we set up all of these relationships on the island. And just like we were just happy they were selling us so that we can like build our reviews on TripAdvisor, so that we can build all these other aspects of it and test the product, right? Because otherwise we would have been sitting around like waiting, like I wonder when someone's going to book. And so we just couldn't afford that. We needed
that's true.
to run very fast.
You do day trips, right? Is it day trips you do?
We do day trips. Yeah, we actually sell by the ticket. So like in the summertime, we run 13 hours a day with one boat nonstop. We're completely packed for like a week.
Two trips 2 trips per boat per day or what?
No, we do. So we have a 3-hour, a 4-hour, and a 6-hour tour.
Oh, wow.
And so
Oh,
we
wow.
do. Our 3-hour tour is like 65 euros. Our 4-hour tour is
Right.
75 euros, and then our 6-hour tour is 95 euros per person. And then there's discounts for children. And so we did in our first year of business, we did 200,000 euros, and our second year we did 450
Wow.
with
That's pretty
one
good.
boat.
That's not that. Wow, really? That's
Yeah.
amazing. Do you also serve food on board?
Yeah.
Yeah. Refreshments or actually lunches?
Yeah, we do like a gourmet focaccia with like local ham and
Mhm.
veggies and that sort of thing. And then we do like for the 4-hour trip, we offer like fresh shrimp that are caught by the fishermen in the mornings. And then for the 6-hour trip, we do a big paella.
I was thinking, you were talking about before about getting the money in hand, Tamara, before they even get close to get on your boat. I actually been doing some marketing lately because of the coronavirus, where I say no deposit and no questions asked on cancellations. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, well,
It's the only
it's
way
hard.
to get business.
Yeah,
People are
yeah,
not going to book you
that's true.
if they don't know
No.
when they can come, and they know
Yeah.
there's going to be a hassle to get their money back. Forget it.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
it's better to get something than nothing, I think.
No, it's a good pipeline for
Yeah.
prospect clients. They say
Yeah.
okay now, they might change their mind, but at least you got them there. You've blocked a date. You can still
Yeah.
follow up. If things are good, you got the
Yeah.
booking. You're good to
Yeah.
go. It's a good way.
Yeah, I do mostly weekly charters, but what I do when I don't have, if I have a gap in my schedule, I do dailies from my island. I do daily trips from my island, but 90% of my business is weekly charters.
Okay, that's very different. We do so we have basically day trips, which are either 6 or 8 hours, and so yeah, it's quite long, but it's also a lot of exploring. It's a fast boat, so you can get to places quite fast.
Right.
We also have food on the boat. We have barbecue. Caribbean
It's
barbecue.
motorboats, right?
Yes, motorboats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What do you charge?
full day 6 hours would be $105, and full day 7 hours 115.
All right.
Lunch included, beverage included, everything included.
All right.
Okay, guys, let me move on so that we can keep time here and not keeping people too long. The next section was from Jerome. He wanted to talk about some SEO hacks, and it's a great one, and I love this one. I'm a marketer by trade. I'm a 10-year career marketer for technology companies in Silicon Valley, and so I've picked up a lot of tips and tricks. I'll tell you that like travel has probably been one of the most difficult marketing challenges for me so far. I think purely for 2 reasons. One is it's an incredibly noisy market, super fragmented. So you end up competing with, instead of just competing with TripAdvisor and Get Your Guide, you're competing with like, every other boat trip operator who's running, 1 boat or 2 boats. And then the second thing is that like there hasn't been any good source of information. Like I was trying to look online. I was like, what's the best way to do SEO for my tour company? What's the best way to do direct bookings? What's the best way to set up a website? And it just there's no information out there, like just doesn't exist. And so I'm very happy that I'm able to, get this wonderful group together to actually contribute to that. Yeah. And so Jerome wanted to chat about one really easy way to significantly improve your SEO rankings. And that is essentially what you do is you buy expiring or expired domains that are in your space or in your industry and that already have backlinks coming into them. So let's just say, for instance, that another travel company has gone out of business and they let their website just expire. But in the course of the 5-10 years that they were operating, they accumulated a lot of backlinks that are specifically targeted for travel. And so what you can do is you can actually find these expiring domains or expired domains, and you can just register them. Registration for a domain is what, $10 a year or $15 a year, depending on the domain. And what you do is you create a 301 redirect. and that essentially redirect, and you say that old site is no longer in existence, but the new site is located over here. And you essentially take all that backlink energy and that authority and you forward it to your own site. So I have a couple examples of this because I did this in 2018 for our business. So I'm going to share with you my screen so I can give you a couple of good examples of this. It's this one. So you should be able to see my screen now. This is a SEO tool that I use. And so what you can see here is that, like, I'll give you an example. 7tours.com was a Russian tour agency. And they had built up so many links. They had 29 referring domains, 70 referring pages. I bought this for $10 and just forwarded all the traffic to us. We still get traffic from this site because it's like all over forums and everywhere else. And there's actually a significant population of Russian tourists in Tenerife. That's why I bought it. It's a relevant travel company, and it's based on the audience that we're looking for. Another one is golfyacht.com, Yacht Club Cagliari. So these are just examples, right? Like I think I bought like 10 or 15 of them, and I just directed all the traffic to myself. Let me see if there's any more. Like dkyachts.com. This was a yacht manufacturer that went out of business and let their website lapse, and so I bought the domain. So there's a trick to this, right? Is that, like, you want to acquire expiring domains that actually are relevant to your industry, because if you buy something that's totally irrelevant and you direct it to your own site, Google will look at that and say, well, hang on a second, this is totally different from what it used to be. This isn't actually a direct 301 redirect. It's not a forward. And so it won't give you the authority that you're looking for. If you do buy a domain that's not relevant, but it's a great opportunity, you can actually use something called Wayback Machine. It's essentially an archive of the entire internet, and you can actually pull down what content used to be on that site, relaunch the website. I know this sounds like a lot of work. You relaunch the website with all of the old content, and you just create new content on that site and direct it to yours. So there's a way to get around all of this. So I'll give you an example of what our analytics and our organic search traffic look like. So we launched the site in July of 2018, and then we kind of struggled initially because we were trying to figure out a lot of stuff. But in 2018, throughout this time, is when I was doing a lot of this link building work, because I knew that we wanted to set ourselves up for the future. And you can see that in 2019, our revenues, our organic search, and correlated our revenue from direct bookings increased significantly, because we were now starting to show up for much more important terms because our authority continued to increase. Right. So, like, this is Corona. This is BC. This is AC. So I had it's a great technique. I highly recommend it. If you want the tools to be able to do this, there's something called expireddomains.net, which is the one that Jerome recommended. And you can just type in things like tours or Greece, and it'll give you a bunch of domains. And you want to be looking at which ones have good backlinks. And there's some other tools you want to use, like SEMrush or other free tools, to be able to make sure there aren't any like toxic links pointing to that site. They're actually real sites.
Text links or whatever.
Yeah. I used to use Domcop. Like, this is the tool that I used to use. It's paid though, and it's expensive. I'm actually thinking that if other people are interested in this, then maybe I can all go in, buy a subscription together, and I can like run you through this entire process. It's super easy on how to essentially poach these expiring domains. You guys have any questions on that before I move on to the next portion?
It's very interesting.
I'm just making sure there's no questions here. It looks like what's the best country to register an online agency? I don't know the answer to that one. All right, so that was Jerome's section. My section is on conversion rate optimization. So essentially, I've spent over a decade building websites and making sure that they convert into sales and make money. That's like all I've done over the last 10 years. And so One of the ways to do that, well, I have a number of things, but let's focus on a good user experience, right? So how Google used to rank you, it used to be primarily based off of whether or not you had good keywords and you matched the search query. But over the last half a decade or so, it's gotten really, really smart, and it actually tracks how users interact with your website. So if users are using your website and they click through and they click back out, and it's a high bounce rate and there's very low time on site, then Google will look at that and say, oh, this is a bad user experience because the people that were searching did not find what they were looking for. And so we clearly need to devalue this site in search engine optimization and in search rankings. So a good user experience is super important. Things that make people interact, like what Jamil was talking about earlier, to have like a WhatsApp widget. I'll show you how we did that. It's a great idea, right? Or like a WhatsApp phone number, because the more you can get people to engage with your site, the higher the authority and the better your organic rankings are going to be. Generally, though, you want to provide as best of an experience as possible, something that's really easy to browse, something that builds trust with the user, and something that's really easy for the user to use. So I'll give you an example. You want to make sure that where your booking information is on the site is super clear. Like, it should be the biggest thing on the page. There should be no like, I wonder how to book this thing, or I wonder who to call, or I wonder how to get in touch with this. It shouldn't be. It should be like crystal clear, and you have a huge red button or green or whatever color you want, but it has to be like so big that they can't miss it. So like for our site, we have a huge booking widget that you can book right away, for what time, for how many people, whether you need pickup, etc. And then like just book now and pay. This is like what Tamara was saying earlier, like to have cash now for a tour that's happening 3 months later is fantastic, especially during our low season and during the winter time. You want to collect cash from customers early on.
Yeah.
The other thing you want to do is something called trust badges. So trust badges are essentially these little links, these little buttons and graphics. These things may not look like much, but you probably see them on every e-commerce experience you've ever been on, right? Which is essentially, Amazon or wherever you shop online. Any site that is authoritative enough to take your money online has to have these trust badges, which allow the customer to see that their transaction is secure, that their credit card that they have works, and that you have good reviews. So like we embed a TripAdvisor, right? So we have 144 reviews on TripAdvisor, 5-star rating, and then we have our own reviews on the page itself, right? Testimonials really help with conversion optimization, because people trust that they're going to be making the right decision. And so they can actually read which reviews. And by the way, these reviews I just pulled from TripAdvisor. Right? If you can get your own unique content, your own unique reviews or testimonials from customers that are not anywhere else on the web, that's great. It's super important to have that. But copying them from somewhere else is better than not having them at all. Right.
I actually sent out a questionnaire to all my customers, and the answer is in Google Documents, and that's what I'm posting on my website.
It's good. Yeah, I mean that's really important, right? So people can see that there's actually this company's real, and I trust it.
Is a WordPress website?
So we started on WordPress and we built it in a similar way, but we realized that WordPress is actually very bloated and heavy, and I'm trying to compete with TripAdvisor, and I just couldn't compete with TripAdvisor with a WordPress website anymore. There are ways, by the way, to compete with those guys when you find gaps in the market, because they don't cover everything, right? Like we rank #1 for turtles in Tenerife. It's just a blog post, but like they don't have any content on turtles in Tenerife, and we're #1 and we get all that traffic ourselves, and we actually make money off it, even though we don't have any turtle tours on our website. I signed up as an affiliate with Get Your Guide, and then I started monetizing that traffic in a different way.
Is there any turtles there?
That's a whole other conversation. So this is a custom built site. Actually, a great team called Get Local. Actually, you should probably know about these guys. So they actually built this site. They're based out of Iceland. The founder of this company used to be a product manager at Boken. And they essentially built this front end interface that sits on top of Boken. So it was super easy to set up. It's called this travel sales platform. It's called Get Local. It's an e-commerce and CMS solution. So it's kind of like WordPress, but it sits on top of Boken and is built specifically for tour operators.
All right.
If you're interested in connecting with them, please let me know. I'll be happy to connect you with them. They're in a time right now, but they essentially they run websites for Greyline, Board a Boat, Day Trip, for us, for Reykjavik, and a bunch of other sites. All of these guys run on top of this. The reason that we did this, by the way, I'm talking for a long time and I'm sorry. The reason that we did this is because we realized that if we were only selling our own boat trips, then we were losing out on all of the work and effort and money that we've spent in building our organic authority. So I spent a lot of money building out our original site. And then we started ranking for things like Turtles and Tenerife and other things. And we started competing actually at a pretty decent level. And so we said that well, why are we only selling one, in our case, one product, but 3 versions of the same product when we could be selling 50 or 60 or 70 products and just let Google kind of decide how to rank us beyond that. So Boken actually has a whole marketplace. By the way, we can totally talk about this another time and another webinar. But Boken has a marketplace where you could just one click add products, so you can become a reseller of anything that Boken has. The contracts are all set up. Everything is set up. We get paid, they get paid all automatically. I literally have to do nothing. I just set up the relationship in Boken. I built the interface on top with Get Local, and now we just sell other tours and we don't have to touch anything. No customer service. I mean, minimal customer service. People still ask us questions, but I don't have to actually do any selling. The website does all the selling. The content comes from the product vendor, and then we just act as a reseller on top of it as a layer on top. But I can do a whole webinar on Boken. If you guys are interested in that, just leave a comment in the live comment thread, and I'll be happy to set up another and go really in depth in that. But let me get back to our analytics. So I talked about this. We're talking about conversion optimization. We talked about reviews. Site speed is another really, really critical factor in not only your organic rankings, but in the way that people perceive. There's a lot of research that suggests that after 3 seconds of load time on your website, people just bounce. They just don't have patience. So it has to be super fast and very real, right? And so I'll give you an example. Our mobile still needs work. We're only at 73. You can use this. This is called developers.google. It's called the Page Speed Insights tool by Google. And they do a full analysis and breakdown and actually show you exactly what you need to fix on your website. You can just send this to an engine, like a developer, and they'll fix it pretty easily for you. On desktop, we're not doing too bad. 96.
May I ask a question there? Is there any data on how many people visit your website by mobile phone and how many doing it on laptop or computer?
Yeah, we definitely. By the way, if you don't have Google Analytics, it's a free tool from Google. Highly recommend. It's just you sign up for a free account and they give you a piece of code to put on your website. But I can definitely tell you, here's behavior, your audience, technology, browser and OS. We can also just do mobile. So this is just organic traffic. Let me do a mobile overview. Yeah, so here's how ours break down: mobile, desktop, and tablet.
Oh wow!
Because people are traveling, most likely it's going to be mobile traffic.
Yes, it's that much, huh?
Yeah, mobile is really big.
So you have about almost 70% is mobile.
And so page speed is important. Mobile experience is super important. And then one of the things that Jamil was talking about earlier was having a WhatsApp widget. I highly recommend having a WhatsApp widget. I think that making communication and access to you as a company as easy and frictionless as possible for the customer is super important. And so
it guarantees a personal service.
So absolutely.
You get in contact with a real person, right?
I want to add something to that, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There is WhatsApp and there is WhatsApp Business. Okay, so if you're going to be using WhatsApp, it's going to be on your phone or somebody else who's handling its phone. So
Yeah.
try to dedicate whatever it is that is work on one of them, either your WhatsApp Business or one on your WhatsApp. So you don't mix them up completely and you have no clue who you're chatting with and who you're going on. When you're off work, just because the same way how you send an email, you reply to it. For me, as soon as possible. Some people, I'm not working right now, I'm going to go and do it later. So
Right.
you can always see it there. The message is there. You haven't opened it. Then you can reply to it.
Mm.
Okay, so try to separate them. Don't mix them with your personal stuff. A lot of people are having issues with that over here as well.
Right.
It's one WhatsApp message, wife is messaging photos of cats, kids are doing something else, and then you've messed it up.
Yeah.
You've got a customer asking you something 6 days ago. You didn't even see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's important not to mix it up.
Or
Yeah,
have one
that's a
phone,
good
one
point.
phone only for WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
There's two
Yeah, and
apps. There's 2 apps. You can put WhatsApp Business and WhatsApp. So
Oh, yeah.
you can have
You can
WhatsApp
have both
Business.
installed at the same time.
Yeah,
But it
at the
must
same
be-
time, same phone. Yeah, you can have WhatsApp
Same
Business.
number,
Same number. No, different numbers.
different
You can
numbers. You have 2 numbers.
I have a lot of numbers. So yeah. So you can
Only
have
have
one.
one.
I keep one for work. I keep one for personal. So
Yeah.
with my work one, they'll WhatsApp from there, and with my personal one, not everyone has it, but sometimes I get some work ones there, but mostly it's personal messages. So we don't
Right.
mix them up. You get confused
Good.
with the messages, and then you can open it up later and see, okay, I've got these messages for work, and I can reply to them, and you can tell
So
them,
we
I'm
have
sorry.
dual SIM cards then, or what?
No, you don't actually need the SIM card on the phone to get WhatsApp.
No, oh, you don't?
No, you don't.
Yeah, you need to provide a number.
Yes, you do need to provide a number. It can be on another phone. Any number. You could have your international number in China and you could have one in Dubai on the same phone on the 2 different WhatsApp, just working at the same time. You register that particular number on that WhatsApp on your phone. The number doesn't actually have to be there.
Right.
yeah, that's a really good point. To definitely separate those two is, I think, is pretty
Yes.
is very
It makes
important.
a
Yeah.
lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I think so this is the way that we did it on our site. We have a little button here on the bottom left. So
Right.
depending on where your customers are coming from, like if your customers are coming from Asia, then you might want to do like Line, or there's a bunch of like apps that are, or like WeChat, right? If you have customers coming from the UK and the US, like Facebook Messenger is a really big one. A lot of other places in like Western Germany, or sorry, Western Europe, I get a lot of WhatsApp communications. And so we use this little tool. It's like $2 a month or $2.50 a month or something like that. We just pay it on an annual plan. It allows me to essentially choose like which platforms to enable. And then for us, it was Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. And so when somebody clicks on that button, we immediately directly from whatever interface they're using, desktop or mobile, if they click it, it'll actually open up and be able to send a message right away.
Oh, wow.
So there's no like, you don't even have to like type anything in or anything like that. It's just like immediately sends a message. So in the last year, so we launched that button in January 2019. We started tracking how it was doing. We got 236 clicks on those buttons and engagements. And you can see that like WhatsApp is the orange line here. There's like a little more, a little bit here and there, but like per month, we still get like, 30 to 40 a month. And that's on top of phone calls and emails and Instagram direct messages and just bookings online. Like we get lots of bookings online now. And so this is just for people who need more information, or they want to set up a private charter, or they want another product or something like that. So highly recommend making it super, super easy for people to contact you in any way.
My numbers of emails and phone calls completely dropped after I started putting up the WhatsApp and promoting it. So basically we left a little message there and said basically, guys, we are busy this time of year. If you're not able to get us on the phone, send us a quick WhatsApp message to chat, and we'll come back to you. So this
Right.
way, you miss that call. They
Yeah.
could book with your competitor in a few seconds. If they're not coming directly for you, so you don't miss the call. You might be busy. You might have gone to the toilet. You don't know. You might be having lunch. So you miss that call. You might be done. So this way,
Right.
they can send you a quick hello, and if they're still interested, because it's right there. It says, if you're busy, you can't reach us. Let us, message us. And this way, I got less phone calls. And so when you're on the phone, actually, you spend a lot of time on the phone with somebody. If you're WhatsApping, you can always come. You're not having a conversation with them. You can give it 5-10 minutes. If
Sure.
you're not sure about something, you can take your time and reply
Right.
to them as well. So if you same as email, you don't have to
Yeah.
instantly reply to everything unless the person's a bit, answer me now in 200 messages, where have you gone? Then that's some of our clients. We can't help it. That's life.
Nice.
And also
I
the
like
advantage of WhatsApp and email over phone calls is that you have everything written down. So no need to reconfirm and write another message like
Yeah,
this
you
will be
can reply.
discussed. Yeah, great.
Guys,
I
this
I
has
had
been
some
awesome.
questions, actually, for
Yes, it's been very good.
Lara.
Very, very good. I like it.
This has been awesome. I mean, you guys are fantastic. I'm so glad that everyone joined me. Thank you all so much for joining me.
Fantastic.
Any final Q&A, any questions? I'm monitoring the comments right now for the Facebook Live event. So if you have any comments or questions, please add them in there now.
How many people did we have watching?
Currently there's 25, but I think people have been
Right.
kind of popping in and out throughout
Yeah.
the presentation.
Right.
And so one thing I want to ask for everyone that's listening, what do you guys want us to cover next? Is it operations? Is it maintenance? Is it employment? Is it what is it that you guys would like us to do next?
Why don't you make like a questionnaire on Facebook, on the Facebook group, with 4 different choices? What would you like to talk about next? And,
Absolutely.
And let
What do
them
you
put
think?
others. Maybe they have their own ideas.
Yeah,
Which
or your own. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be really great for us. Actually, I had a couple of questions before we all go for Tamara. So TripAdvisor is a tool that I use for my business in Dubai as well, and that's helped us grow from nothing to getting a big outreach to a lot of new clients because of the reviews that we have online. Now the thing is, when I started in 2010 and basically went door to door. To all the hotels, to all the what do you call it, the different agencies and companies, trying to list myself as a new business, and I didn't have anything backing me up, and everyone just said, okay, sure, but nothing came out from there. So we basically
I recognize that.
yeah, just when you start out new, everyone in Dubai, we say inshallah, which means
With God's will.
Yes,
One of my favorite words, man.
Yeah,
I love
so
that word.
basically that's what happened, and we focused on doing our own stuff. We focused on TripAdvisor, and we got our ratings up. And now we get a lot of business that's coming in through either our website itself, because we focused on more direct business. We stopped focusing through third parties. So TripAdvisor for us, I feel, is taking like quite a big chunk. If they do book online through TripAdvisor instead of compared to direct customer. So, my question is, do you think that Get Your Guide, Get My Boat, do you think they will fill up? Like for me personally, I will only focus, I put an option there, okay, that they can book my weekdays. Even though my weekend might be full, I give them the options of booking particular things. I don't open up my own schedule, my whole schedule to everybody, because it's dangerous for me to do that. I might have bad weather for a week. I might need to move somebody here and there. I might have an emergency with one of the groups. They can't make it there. So it's really difficult for me to just accept the booking directly. And this is my problem with Bookem. I can't get on Bookem because they want instant bookings. So I have to confirm as a business or reject. And if I reject a lot of bookings, then
I would say,
to them.
I would say in this business, I mean, being at sea in boats, that's always a issue. And people, I have in my contract with my customers that if it's more than 6 before, we don't leave harbor. I mean, it's captain's call.
Yes, of course.
And I mean, the customers are happy with that. I actually had one group last year. We didn't go out at all. We sat in the marina and they were happy as shit. Anyway.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think,
so I think, yeah.
sorry, I was
I mean,
just
the
going to
weather, what can you do about the weather? What can you do about the coronavirus? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Jamil, I think it also kind of depends on what your goal is with the business. Like from a purely kind of, you know, goal setting perspective, is it enough for you to have kind of like a casual, you know, lifestyle business that you run and you operate and you have fun with, or is it something that you see as growing, as something that you want to turn into something that's instant bookable with 10 boats, et cetera, right? So for us, we actually set out from the very beginning to grow the business. Like I knew, I was like, if I'm going to do this, like I want this thing to be big. I'm also I'm used to growing things. So that's just kind of my default status. And so for us, things like instant booking was really important. And we've built a bunch of process around how to reconcile bookings across multiple different channels. So like we have bookings from WhatsApp, we have bookings from partners, we have bookings online, OTAs, et cetera, and we use Booking as our master record. So we essentially always update availability on a real-time basis, because when we first started, we had double bookings constantly and it was terrible. So we said, let's run a schedule and let's reconcile. And so I actually have somebody that manages Booking and our accounting. So like that person's job is to reconcile and to be the person in the middle that's sitting there and constantly making sure that our boat is not double booked, that things are in place, and that all the details are in place. You should see our Excel spreadsheets and macros and automations, and I mean it's like really it's cool. We built a lot of stuff that's really useful. But I think it all comes down to like, what's your goal? Like if you want to grow, then that's the direction you should go.
Okay, great.
Yeah. What about 30-40% of my bookings is actually through agents. And the best one I had last season was Click and Boat, and they charge 17.5%.
Click and Boat, is it like Get My Boat, or how does
It's like the same. It's a similar setup. Yeah, it's a similar setup.
You get paid after the trip?
They're very professional and have fantastic support. I had a real big problem because I came with a boat from the Caribbean last year, and I had bookings already in July, and I didn't have the paperwork to do charter with this boat. So I had 3 weeks with bookings that I didn't actually have a boat.
On the boat.
Oh, Jesus Christ! But they were very good working with me, and I found other boats available. So we worked it out, and we had the customers happy anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. So Jamil, about what you said, that what was your question again about TripAdvisor that you asked me?
Did I ask you about TripAdvisor?
I think Vitaly just answered it for you pretty much. So
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Great. No, no, that's okay.
All right.
All right. Guys, thank you all so much. Please give a round of applause for Toby, Tamara, and Jamil for coming up and doing our very first live event. This is amazing.
Good initiative.
Well,
good initiative, you guys. Very good initiative.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Fantastic. So please ask any other additional questions that you have in the comments section.
Sure.
And then hopefully we'll do another one of these in the next week or two.
All right. Stay safe, guys.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.